Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're a recent university graduate, or maybe you're just starting out in your very first real job, you are exactly who I want to talk to today. Consider this your professional mentor's roadmap to absolute financial independence. What we're diving into is a precise month-by-month checklist spanning your early 20s, and it is specifically designed to separate you from, honestly, about 95% of people your age. We're going to break down the exact step-by-step strategies you need to start building real, lasting wealth right out of the starting gate. Now, I know exactly what might be running through your head right now. You're thinking, I don't make nearly enough money to build wealth, right? Trust me, I used to think the exact same thing when I landed my first entry-level job. It's such an incredibly common limiting belief. But we need to shatter that myth right now. The truth is, your 20s are literally the most powerful financial decade of your entire life. And no, it's definitely not because you're earning the most right now, because, let's face it, you probably aren't.
It is all because of this one core premise. Time is worth way more than money. Since you have time on your side, you hold a massive advantage that a 40-year-old making 3 times your current salary simply does not have. Over the course of this explainer, I'm going to prove to you exactly why that is, and more importantly, how you can leverage it to your advantage.
Okay, let's dive into this. We have 6 progressive steps that form our chronological checklist for ages 20 to 25. We'll be monetizing your primary skill, automating your wealth and retirement, destroying high-interest debt, building your emergency fund, creating multiple income streams, and finally, playing offense for lasting wealth. Just keep in mind, every single step here builds on the previous one, so we are establishing absolutely crucial monthly habits.
Starting with step 1, monetizing your primary skill and stopping the cycle of trading time for money. Right now, at 20, you might be working a job that pays just enough to keep you comfortable, but definitely not enough to drastically change your financial trajectory.
The real danger here is that you're training yourself to just trade your hours for a paycheck. Instead, before life gets super complicated, and honestly, while you can still stomach living off instant ramen to make rent, you need to start building a second income stream. And the absolute easiest way to do this? Pick just one single skill and go incredibly deep on it. I'm talking video editing, copywriting, coding, things like that. So here's my mentor's assignment for you this month. Step 1, write down 3 things you're already pretty decent at or genuinely interested in learning. Step 2, Google the average freelance rate for those specific skills. And step 3, compare that rate to your current entry-level hourly wage. I guarantee you, without a doubt, that at least one of these freelance rates will easily beat your starting salary. Companies are paying thousands of dollars a month for these skills, and the best part is, you come learn them for free online. That's your starting point. Moving on to step 2, age 21, automating your wealth and retirement using adult financial tools. Let me be crystal clear here. Ignoring these foundational tools is going to be one of the most expensive mistakes you will ever make.
You have got to get your money automated and out of your own way, month after month. So here is your automation stack. First things first, stop paying bank fees immediately. Open a zero-fee checking account with an institution like Ally or Chime. Handing big banks your money every single month adds up to hundreds of dollars a year that should be working for you, not them. Second, get yourself a high-yield savings account. Some of these are paying over 4% interest annually right now. Listen, if you leave $5,000 in a traditional bank earning, 0.01%, you are literally leaving about $200 a year on the table for absolutely nothing. And third, open a Roth IRA. You can invest up to $7,000 a year of your after-tax money here. And don't worry, you don't need to guess or try to pick individual stocks. Just automate your contributions directly into a simple S&P 500 index fund and let it do its thing.
Over $1.1 million. Yeah, you heard that right. That is exactly what happens if you automate just $200 a month into that Roth IRA starting at age 21, assuming it averages an 8% annual return. By the time you hit 65, you're going to have over $1 million, and because it's a Roth IRA, every single dollar of that growth is completely tax-free. Tax-free from just $200 a month. That right there is the ultimate power of starting early.
All right, step 3, age 22, destroying high-interest debt and patching the slow leak. As we hit 22, this is usually when most recent grads start feeling the true heavy weight of debt for the very first time. You've got student loans kicking in, maybe a new car payment, credit card balances from furnishing that first apartment. It all adds up fast. Think of debt in your 20s as a slow leak in your financial tire. You don't really notice it at first, but eventually you are completely stranded on the side of the road. Let's define this clearly. High-interest debt basically forces you to pay for the privilege of being broke. The average credit card interest rate right now is hovering over 20%.
Just think about that for a second. If you carry a mere $3,000 balance, you are paying $600 a year entirely in interest. You get literally nothing for that $600. It's a guaranteed 20% negative return on your money, which absolutely destroys your early wealth building.
So you need a framework to prioritize all this. Write down every single debt you owe and its interest rate. Anything above a 7% interest rate, like those credit cards and personal loans, that goes straight onto your enemy list. You must attack these aggressively before you even think about investing heavily elsewhere. On the flip side, things like student loans sitting below 5%, those are a much lower priority. You can just slowly pay those down while you continue investing in your index funds. And hey, a quick aside, don't just go cutting up your credit cards. Use them smartly. Put regular, budgeted monthly expenses on a cashback card and pay the full balance off every single month. That builds your credit score and earns you free cash back at the same time.
Step 4 brings us to age 23, building your emergency fund. It is time to buy some financial insurance, because do you know what destroys more wealth-building journeys than literally anything else? One bad month,
A sudden job loss, a crazy medical bill, your car totally breaking down. Your emergency fund is not an investment, it is financial insurance, and you need to buy this insurance before something actually goes wrong. The golden rule here is to save 3 to 6 months of total living expenses, stored safely away in that high-yield savings account we set up earlier. And you never, ever touch it unless it is a genuine, undeniable emergency. Let's break down the math real quick. If your post-grad lifestyle costs you about $2,500 a month, your target is between $7,500 and $15,000. Now, if that sounds super intimidating, don't panic. Just start this month by building an initial $1,000 buffer. Make that your very first emergency fund task.
And honestly, what's truly shocking is just how much of an advantage that initial $1,000 gives you. Get this, 40% of Americans cannot cover a $400 unexpected expense without having to borrow money. 40%. Having just that basic emergency fund in place prevents you from slipping right back into the high-interest debt trap we just talked about.
Step 5. Age 24. Creating multiple income streams and adopting the millionaire habit. The single biggest difference between people who build serious wealth and those who don't is having multiple streams of income. Fun fact, the average millionaire actually has 7 income streams. Now, okay, you don't need 7 right this second, but it is definitely time to build a reliable second one. Here are the best options mapped out for you. You could take that primary skill we talked about monetizing back at age 20, find a few clients, and set up a monthly retainer. That's going to be your fastest cash. You could jump into content creation, like a YouTube channel or a newsletter. It takes a bit longer to build, but the scale is enormous. As your Roth IRA index funds grow, you'll naturally start earning dividends, which is completely automatic income. Or you can leverage practical skills on the weekend for immediate cash, charging anywhere from $50 to $150 an hour. The goal isn't to replace your main job overnight, but just consider this. If you bring in a mere $300 a month from a side hustle and invest it at 8%, that adds an extra $25,000 to your portfolio over 10 years. It's a game changer. And finally, step 6, age 25, playing offense through aggressive growth strategies. Listen, if you have followed this monthly checklist all the way up to age 25, you are already miles and miles ahead of most 35-year-olds. So now we shift the narrative entirely. It's time to stop playing defense and start playing offense for lasting wealth. First, you need to aggressively increase your income. Do your market research, walk into your manager's office, and negotiate a higher starting salary or a raise. Your baseline in your 20s dictates your lifelong earnings. Next, maximize your employer benefits. If they offer a 401k match, you need to contribute enough to capture every single cent of it. That is literal free money that accelerates your timeline. Finally, start thinking bigger. Look into house hacking. That's where you buy a multi-unit property, live in one unit yourself, and have your tenants' rent pay the mortgage. It is hands down one of the most powerful real estate strategies for young professionals out there.
Let's bring this all back to the hook we started with. The undeniable, hard truth about your 20s is that every single year you delay starting this checklist costs you more than the year before. Not the same amount, more. Why? Because of the magic of compounding.
Let's put this timeline into perspective. At 20, you're just building the foundation with small amounts. By 25, you're maximizing that growth. But if you wait until you're 30 to finally get serious about your finances, the gap in wealth generation is absolutely massive. It's not just a 10-year delay in returns. Delaying until 30 often literally halves the final amount you will have in retirement. Halves it. You miss out on the most explosive years of compound growth. So, as you sit there looking at those first few post-grad paychecks, I want you to leave with this final thought. The question isn't whether you can afford to start right now. The question is whether you can afford not to.
You have the ultimate asset right in the palm of your hand: time. Use this roadmap, tackle your very first assignment this month, and set yourself up for a lifetime of financial independence. You've got this.